This week is all about the hair. You've had to flatten yours down. I'm deeply impressed. I mean, look at me. I look like the love child of Doc from Back to the Future and Camilla Parker Bowles. It's a disaster. Another model. Yeah. We love a model. This is one from your APMP conference. Tell me about this one, Graham.
It's actually from a model from a company called PMMS, who are a procurement and purchasing consultancy. And it's a great way just to get inside the mind of the buyer. Where they put you in one of those quadrants will probably dictate the way they work with you, and certainly the way they value you as a supplier. So maybe it's just fun to go through them, David.
I'd love that, actually. It's a new one on me, so I mean, I'm really happy to do that. I'm looking forward to learning it myself.
If you're in what's called the efficiency box or quadrant, which is that the client's spending a lowish amount relatively of expenditure on your market area, and it doesn't have a major impact on their business, you're in what's called a tactical acquisition space. And if they see you in this, you might not think you're in that space, but if they see you in that space, their drivers are going to be just making sure that you can deliver on what they need from you.
So it's a need. It's something we just have to have. It's a bit like we have to buy insurance for our house or our car or whatever. It's just something that has to be bought.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is very much an economical sale, isn't it? It's the economics of the sale. And I was actually just this weekend, I had to renew my car insurance, and I got my renewal, and I thought, okay, I wonder what I can do. So for the first time ever, I compared the Meerkat. You got it for 100 foot. So I was definitely in that box at the weekend.
Yeah, and your insurance company had obviously spent months and months building up a great relationship with you to ensure they kept your business. And of course, that's why relationships in this box are less important.
Take me on to another one. I'm liking this.
Okay, so if we move around a little bit more to the strategic security quadrant, okay, this is when still not spending a ton of money with you, but it's becoming more important for them. So making sure they're securing that supply with you or with one of your competitors becomes more important. In fact, becomes super important. And of course, then, because I'm relying on you more, the personal relationship is a bit more important. I need to trust you that you're not going to drop the ball, even though I'm not spending all my money with you. But if you drop that ball, that could mean my whole business could fall down and collapse behind me. So it's really important that I trust you. I might spend a bit more money with you, therefore, because just to get the right personal people or supplier in there that I can trust.
Well, isn't that interesting? Because I mean, for me, I was in the first box this weekend. Absolutely, it was just economy. I was looking for the cheapest I could get. But in a year's time, when I've sort of reversed into my next door neighbour's car and I'm going through the claims process, which I hope doesn't happen, I suppose that comes into play then, doesn't it? It's I'm looking for an insurer might want to pay a little bit more if their claims process is that much smoother. And so some of the stories they will tell about their values, about what it's like working with them under pressure, will become very important.
Let's look at the strategic critical. So let's go right to the top right-hand corner of the quadrant. Yep. So I'm spending lots of money with you. It's an item on my P&L, a big item, and it's really important for me as well. So you've got the two sort of critical things happening at the moment. So this is the one where I'm probably only going to buy from you if I really trust you. Yeah.
So I mean, that's the situation where the relationship becomes incredibly important, I would imagine. It's about how you've built that rapport and that bond with the buyer.
Yeah, and if you're an incumbent in that box, you're in a real position of strength. Yeah. There is a risk that you sit back on your laurels a little bit, because there might be a temptation that they need us more than we need them, kind of thing. So where people normally fail in that space is where they're not providing that, continuous innovation and improvement. Yeah. They're not always looking to improve and get better. Certainly, if you think back to the model we looked at last week, you were trying to get to that. You've got to be in that favored position, really, if you're really going to be serious about winning in that strategic critical critical box. You know, you're not, if they've hardly heard of you before, or just know you know the name of your company and nothing, you're never going to break through.
My wife, Sarah Jane, actually, she was working with a team many years ago now who were pitching and put in a fantastic pitch, but another organization won because the head of the bid on that side had basically been dropping into their offices in Rotterdam for the last 10 years for a coffee and a chat, and the relationship was there. Yeah. It's not that the offers were necessarily that different, but there had been a huge amount of legwork that had gone into making this relationship really work. So
yeah, that's worth a lot. You know, people will pay over the odds just to get that.
Brilliant. Lucky last, take us to quadrant 4.
Quadrant 4. So spending loads of money with you, but it's not critically important to them. So it might be some high value products or services that somebody's buying, but it's sort of business as usual, I suppose. Mm-hmm. So here, there's a good balance here of getting the great prices and selling the value as well. So you've got to be able to do both, I think, to win in this box.
I'm thinking about a couple that I've been involved in the past. One was actually for Amazon, cleaning Amazon warehouses, and that was about sort of shifting an incumbent. It was a necessary thing. You have to be able to clean those things, but it's about telling the story of the efficiency, the look and feel of what it's going to be like working with you. And the other one is logistics organization, where there's huge amounts of money spent on organizations sort of shipping or trucking things around the country for Waitrose and Aldi and whoever else. I mean, it has to be done. It's the case of who tells the best story about actually how they do that and what it's going to look and feel like working with them.
Yeah, at the lowest possible risk, for my company. So
exactly
the low margins and high spend, low margins, but also kind of a big impact if you get it wrong. So I think if it's logistics, thinking about the impact on your customer's end user.
Graham, I really like that. That's very good.
Just helps you maybe have a bit more of a, put the customer goggles on for a bit and reflect back on yourselves and think about maybe what are the successful stories that's going to be appropriate to selling this thing into this particular customer. Could help you with your conversations.
Thank you, Graham. Really enjoyed it again. Thanks all of you for watching. See you next week.
Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.